of Dons and Dominoes. We're parked just outside Pembroke, where Tolkien probably dreamed of Middle-earth when he was a Don there. I live next door to a Don in Kidlington. He's called Jeff. I asked him what a Don was, and in reply, he asked me if I played dominoes. I gave him a reluctant yes, as I think it's a game for children, but I didn't want to sound rude in case he plays it. He said Don was short for Dominus, which means master. The easy way for you to remember, he said, would be to think of a domino. This is the same word with 2 or 4. Is Jeff talking in riddles? Maybe all his dominoes have a 2 and a 4 on them. Or does he mean he plays with 2 or 4 dominoes? I have 6s on my dominoes and 5s, and I have more than 2 or 4 of them in a game. I thanked him for his time, even though he's not been much help. Maybe he's always in a rush to finish a game, and that's why he plays with just 2 or 4 dominoes. I know he works hard, but not all Dons do. I remember once seeing a cartoon of a Don in Times Higher Education who said, "I hate teaching on a Wednesday. It interferes with both weekends." But that was York University, not Oxford. In a piece by Laurie Taylor, but don't tell anyone, as it's probably referred to him. Soon I'll see the Cat Dons in Cats College. Now they talk my language, and that will be fun. A sudden brainwave. There's a traffic jam and we're stuck outside a church, having moved only 10 yards. The guide starts talking again. The church on the left is St. Aldate's, and 50 yards behind that is another church called St. Ebb's. He goes on, "These are both very well-known Oxford churches, attracting hundreds of students on a Sunday during term time, and hundreds of others too, of course." He must be talking in anagrams, which seems an unintelligent thing to do on a tour bus. Perhaps he's just trying to be clever. At least, I think they're anagrams. Aldate, Ebb. Never heard of such names. I can't believe anyone would call a baby Aldate or Ebb. But if they are anagrams, what are they anagrams of? I must ask the White Rabbit. The bus guide keeps going as we inch forward. Blah, blah, blah about a Norman door at St. Ebb's. Really? I'm surprised they can't afford a new door yet, if they've had nearly 1,000 years to save up for it. Then suddenly I have a brainwave. As the door is so old anyway, perhaps they could cut a cat door in it for me. Then I could come and go as I like when I'm in town. Just until they manage to save up for a new one. Whom should I approach about that? My friend Audrey knows a lot about history, and I think she goes to that church. She would follow my reasoning. I'll ask her to advocate for me. After all, Exeter Cathedral has a door with a cat hole. Just a small hole would do me nicely. Our friend Edward could do it in 5 minutes. I'll recommend him. As the bus trundles up the hill, the guide starts again. Can't a cat get any peace for a quick nap? On your right, you will see Blue Boar Street. If you walk up there and continue through to Merton Street, you will be back in medieval Oxford. But wear flat shoes, as the street is cobbled. What nonsense! Me in shoes? Perhaps he's conflating me in his mind with Puss in Boots. He evidently doesn't recognize me as the great Simeon. I decide to remain incognito.